Hello! Words you need для нормально общающихся. Lesson 14. Now, if you have already watched Lesson 13, the link is in the description, then you know that in the last lessons of the course, we are focusing on cognates. So, words which are similar in English and Russian. In Russian, you could call them родственные слова or однокоренные слова or созвучные слова. It doesn't really matter what you call them. The main thing is that they are similar in English and Russian. So you don't need to learn these words because you already know them. But you do need to practice them, to work on them, to make sure that your pronunciation is correct and to make sure that you know all the different forms of the words. So I decided not to leave these words out of the course completely, but to put them at the end. And these are the words that we are going to work on today. So, the first one, у нее сильный ирландский акцент. Accent is an accent. She has a strong Irish accent. Accent. The stress is on the first syllable. Accent. Accent, but the it's clipped, обрезанный, because it comes before an unvoiced глухой k sound. So it's pause, accent. Oh, Russian letters, maybe not. Accent. And really, it's more like accent, accent. A strong Irish accent. Next. Атмосфера окружает Землю. Atmosphere is atmosphere. The atmosphere surrounds the earth. If you listen very carefully, you should be able to hear that I don't pronounce the T in atmosphere. I use a glottal stop. Гортанная смычка. Atmosphere. And I almost always do that if there is a T before a consonant. So here we have M, a consonant, so I use glottal stop instead of T. Atmosphere. Atmosphere is not a mistake, but if you can pronounce it with a glottal stop, then your pronunciation will be even more natural. Atmosphere. The atmosphere surrounds the earth. There's also an adjective, atmospheric. Now, let's have a look at which words sometimes come after atmospheric. Atmospheric, we need nouns here. Atmospheric pressure, давление, атмосферное, I guess. Atmospheric carbon, that means carbon in the atmosphere. Atmospheric research, atmospheric conditions. So all these words are connected to science. I don't know why there's atmospheric administration. I suppose it's it's a department of the US government, I think. Yes. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. There you go. So atmosphere, atmospheric. Next. Шлагбаум открывается автоматически. The barrier opens automatically. Now this is one of those words which sometimes people pronounce incorrectly. They say автомат or automatic because everybody understands you. You can say automatic your whole life and everybody will always understand you and never correct you. But it's incorrect. It's not automatically, it's automatic. Or, a long or sound, automatically. American, automatically. Long ada, order. Ada, order. Automatic, automatic. Matic. In American English. But I'm, giving you British English, so automatically. Automatic, automatically. If we're talking about a car, automat is my car is an automatic. Automatic. Or, long or sound. Not av. Automatic. The next one. Бюджет проекта составил $150,000. Бюджет. Not the budget. It's a budget. Again, if you say budget, oh yes, I need to look at the budget. Budget. Everybody understands, so they don't correct you, but it's wrong. The budget. The budget for the project was $150,000. The budget. If you want to stress the word budget, remember, we don't make the vowel big. We don't say budget, budget. We say budget with a pause. We go, and before we release, выпускаем the budget, we do a little pause. The budget for the project. The budget. All right, next. Я хочу похудеть, поэтому сижу на диете. I want to lose weight, so I'm on a diet. Again, people often just use the Russian version. Don't. It's a diet. Diet. So diet, I don't know, rhymes with riot, for example. What other words have ayet in them? Let's have a look. Star ayet. Are there other words? Oh, idiot. Patriot. Chariot. Cypriot. Oh, they're all different. None of them are ayet. What about other words like this? Iet. Quiet. There, like quiet. Quiet. Diet. Soviet. That's different. So, quiet, diet, riot. It turns out that it's quite a rare sound. Diet, quiet, riot. Just remember that there is a y in all these words. Ayet, ayet, diet, quiet, riot. Diet, quiet, riot. I'm on a diet. Сижу на диете. We also often talk about a healthy diet. I want to have a healthy diet. But you can also, she has an unhealthy diet. 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 Don't forget the y. It's the most important sound. Next, tourism. Another cognate. Туризм важен для итальянской экономики. Tourism is important for the Italian economy. So, economica is the economy. As you will see, the stress keeps moving. Спрос и предложение – это основной экономический принцип. Supply and demand is a basic economic principle. So this one's economic. We've had economy, economic. And here we've got, она известный экономист. She's a well-known economist. So the economy, an economist, but economics. Economy, economist, economics. What was here? Economy. Yeah. Economy, economist, economics. There's also the verb economize. Я начал ездить на работу на велосипеде. Я начал ездить на работу на велосипеде, чтобы экономить топливо. I started cycling to work to economize on fuel. Don't forget, if you want to use economize as economit, you need to add on. Economize on something. Economize on fuel. So economize goes with economy and economics. Economize. Economy, an economist, to economize, but economics. The next one. Я люблю физику, поэтому хочу стать инженером. Engineer is an engineer. I love physics, so I want to become an engineer. Engineer. Interestingly, the stress is at the end. Often, I think people get used to English words having the stress at the beginning. So they say engineer, engineer. But it's not an engineer, it's an engineer. Engineer. At the end, near, engineer. And we could even write it like this. Engineer, near, engineer. I like engineering. And it's interesting when we say engineer, we usually do a double sound, ear at the end, engineer, because it's at the end of the word. But when we say engineering, we use the double ear sound, which is I call it the serious sound, serious, engineering. But in engineer, we use the idea sound. Engineer, idea, engineering, serious. Engineer, engineering. Next. Вы умеете играть на музыкальном инструменте? Can you play a musical instrument? Stress on the first syllable. Instrument. Instrument. And because of the s, which is unvoiced, the in gets clipped. In, pause, instrument. And the vowels kind of disappear. So let's make them like that. Instrument. 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 Don't forget the pause. Instrument. Of course, instrumente, like the things you have in your toolbox in the garage, that's not an instrument. Instrumente, I don't know, гаечный ключ, молоток, дрель, etc. They are tools. So not all instrumente are instruments, but музыкальные инструменты are instruments. The next one. Это здание нашего парламента. Парламента. This is our parliament building. Parliament. There is an unnecessary letter I in there, but we say parliament. Let's do my little sounds again. Parliament. 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 Parliament building. But if we talk about something that's parliamentary, then it's parliamentary. And we can make these little ones. Parliamentary. Parliamentary. The stress moves. Parliament. Parliamentary. And the next one is vitamins. Я принимаю витаминные таблетки каждый день. I take vitamin tablets every day. Americans say vitamins. I take vitamin tablets every day. Vitamin, 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 vitamin. The British version, the I is short, the V is long. Vitamin, vitamin, I, vitamin. And we can make these little like this. Vitamin, vitamin tablets, vitamin. Okay, if you like, press pause, take a break. There are tasks on English, on hopkinsenglish.com and in my app that you can do to practice your pronunciation of these words. Of course, these aren't new words, so perhaps you feel like it's okay just to carry on watching. So feel free to do that too. Second part of the lesson. Мне не нравятся серьезные фильмы. Я предпочитаю смотреть комедии. I don't like serious films, and I prefer to watch comedy. Or it could be comedies. Comedies. So singular or plural, they both work in this context. I prefer to watch comedies. I prefer to watch comedy. Comedy, stress on the first syllable. Comedy. Open your mouth. Comedy. Comedy. Он мой любимый комик. He is my favorite comedian. He's a comedian. Комик. Comic usually means a comic book. So, комиксы, I think in Russian. A comic is like a magazine. It doesn't have to be a magazine. A picture story. Anime, manga. You get the idea. Comics. Comics. The next one. Мы знакомимся с британской культурой на наших уроках английского языка. We learn about British culture in our English lessons. So, cultura, culture. Remember, the ending T-U-R-E is usually pronounced ch, or it could be like that, ch, ch. Culture, culture. Culture, culture, culture. The adjective is cultural. Cultural. Culture, cultural. The next one. Нефть и газ являются очень важными экспортными товарами для России. We're talking about export. Oil and gas are very important exports for Russia. Exports. This word has a double stress. We stress the e and the port. Exports. Exports. It sounds almost like I'm saying exports. Export. Export. With a nice s in it. Exports. Exports. Leave the country. Imports come into the country. Мы импортируем много товаров из Китая. We import a lot of goods from China. Imports. We import their imports. So exports and imports. In both cases, we stress both syllables. Stress all the syllables. Exports and imports. Stress. Everything's stressed. Exports and imports. Импортозамещение will be import substitution. So, the government is promoting import substitution. Импортозамещение. It's quite useful at the moment, this word. The next one. Мой брат investor. My brother is an investor. 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 Listen to how the and the differ. Investor. Investor. There's much less voice in the English because it comes before an unvoiced s. Investor. Invest. It should be breathy. Investor. Недвижимость – это надежная инвестиция. Property is a safe investment. Investment. Ves. Again, a breathy investment. And say it with a smile. You'll get a better if you smile. Investment. Investor. Investors make investments. Actually, in investment, we don't pronounce the T. It disappears. Investments. Next. На прошлой неделе мне сделали операцию на спине. I had an operation on my back last week. So, operation is an operation. Operation. Make the r long. Operation. Because the stress is on the A. Operation. Operation on my back. An operation. Я думаю, нам нужно изменить нашу стратегию. Стратегия is a strategy. I think we need to change our strategy. Make sure that you do a lot of aspiration when pronouncing this word. Strategy. Strategy. And try to stretch your lips to get to the a. Strategy. But when we say стратегические, the stress moves. Мы допустили несколько стратегических ошибок. We made some strategic mistakes. And there's a lot of y because it comes before the voiced j sound. Strategic. What else can be strategic? Let's have a look. Strategic. Whoops. That's right. Strategic planning. That makes sense. Strategic studies. That's probably about исследования in this context. Studies. It is of strategic importance. So that's стратегическое значение, I guess. Strategic thinking. Стратегическое мышление. Okay, I think you get the idea. Strategic. Lots of y. Strategic. The next one. У меня были только легкие симптомы. I only had mild symptoms. Symptoms. Long s at the beginning. Symptoms. Sim. And then there's a little pause before the ptums. Something like this. The should be little symptoms. Symptoms. So we have a long s at the beginning, a long m at the end. Symptoms. Symptoms. There's also an adjective, symptomatic. Well, this is symptomatic of the situation. I'll put it into my translator. Симптоматично для сложившейся ситуации. Symptomatично. То, что мы бы ожидали увидеть. It's symptomatic. Something like that. Next. Фильм посвящен 3 основным темам. The film deals with 3 main themes. So, sometimes темы is themes. In this word, we need a lot of y before the m. Themes. Themes. Lots of y. И краткое y. Themes. What's the difference between topics and themes? Topics are more конкретные and they're narrower. A topic is narrower than a theme. So, culture in general is a theme. The culture of, I don't know, I live in Karelia. Karelian culture might be a topic. But culture in general, a theme. Healthy living could be a theme. I don't know. A healthy diet could be the topic within the theme. So topics are smaller and narrower than themes. Themes are bigger and broader. Themes, that's the big picture. Topics, that's the smaller details. The next one. Я создаю веб-сайты. I make websites. I make what? I make websites. That's better. Websites. As usual, when we have a word which is made up of two nouns, web and site, the stress is on the first one, website. So we need a long w, and especially considering that it's a long w, you must pronounce it correctly. Lower your chin. Web. Websites. Not web. Web. Not v, but w with a low chin. Websites. 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 Okay, that's another 10 words. So press pause, review the vocabulary, and then watch the next part of the lesson. Let's move on. Word number 671. Бомба не взорвалась. The bomb didn't explode. When a word ends in a m, we usually stretch it because m is a very stretchy, elastичный звук. The bomb. Bomb. And you need to open your mouth. It's not bomb, it's bomb. Open your mouth. Bomb didn't explode. The bomb. Город подвергся бомбардировке. The city was bombed. So when we pronounce bombed, again we have a long m before a little d at the end. Bombed. Bombed. The d is actually a little bit like a Russian t. So we could probably write it like that. Bombed. Bombed. The key thing here is the long m. That's the most important. Bombed. Bomb. Bombed. Next. Это один из моих любимых брендов. This is... Where's my voice typing? This is one of my favorite brands. Brands. Try to pronounce all the sounds individually. B, R, A, N, Z, Z. Brands. Don't rush. Brands. Brands. Make it long. Brands. My favorite brands. Look at me. Brands. Brands. There should be a lot of movement. Brands. One of my favorite brands. Мы чемпионы. Чемпионы. We are the champions. My friends. Champions. Champions. It's an a. It's clipped. It's amp before the unvoiced p. So try to do quite a long ch at the beginning. Champions. Champions. Чемпионат is a championship. Мы выиграли чемпионат. We won the championship. Try to pronounce your ch in championship with half a smile. Championship. Championship. We won. We're the champions. The next one also begins with ch. Тайвань является ведущим производителем компьютерных чипов. Taiwan is a leading producer of computer chips. So, chip, компьютерные чипы are chips. Look how much my mouth opens. It's not chips, chips. Chips. And there's a little pause before the p. Chips. Next. Этот фильм Классика. This film is a classic. We have this at sound at the beginning, so you need to pronounce the cl with your mouth open and smiling. Classic. It's a cl. Click, 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 click. Practice saying cl in this position with a smile. Classic. And hold the l. Classic. It's a classic film. Я люблю классическую музыку. I love classical music. Classic. The next one, long na, next one. В Великобритании мягкий климат. Климат is the climate. The UK has a mild climate. Climate. A mild climate. Obviously, people talk all the time now about climate change. My father is very concerned about climate change. Беспокоится. Climate change. When I say climate change, I use a glottal stop because I have the t in climate before a consonant. Climate change. Climate change. Can you do it? Climate change. Climate change. Try it. Climate change. Climate change. The next one. Они планируют масштабную акцию протеста. They are planning a huge protest rally. So this is protest as a noun. Many people attended the protest. So the stress is on the first syllable, protest. Don't miss the W. Test. Protest. The protest. But when it's a verb, protesting, the stress is on the second syllable. Они протестуют против нового закона. They are protesting against the new law. Protesting. So there's a pause before the t. Protesting against the new law. And people who protest, both sound all right to me. Многие протестующие были арестованы. Many protesters were arrested. They actually rhyme those words. Protester, arrested. Protester, arrested. Maybe that can help you to get the right pronunciation. Protesters, arrested. Protesters, arrested. Although protesters, that also sounds okay. Some people say that protesters, the protesters, or the protesters. Both are possible. The next one. Моя книга была опубликована в прошлом году. Опубликована, published. My book was published last year. Published. Remember that ed is pronounced t after the unvoiced gluchoi sh. So it's published, lisht, sht at the end. Published last year. Опубликовано. Although it's interesting that издательство is a publisher. So that's not a cognate. Издательство, a publisher, but the book was published. Опубликовано. Published. The next one. Мы записываем музыку в этой студии. We record music in this studio. So studio, that's the British version. Studio. The American version is studio. So they say something like duty, something like that. Studio. studio, studio. But we say studio with a t, studio. In this studio. And the last one, in this part of the lesson, нам не хватает технических знаний для выполнения этой задачи. Технические знания. We lack the technical knowledge to complete this task. Техническое, technical, tech. Remember, it's a k, like in technology. Technology, technical, tech. And the e is clipped before the k sound. Technical. We lack the technical knowledge to complete this task. Technical, technical. Это технически сложное устройство. It is a technically sophisticated device. Technically sophisticated. Technical, technically. Okay, that is another 10. We are moving quite quickly through these. I hope that you're still finding some interesting bits of information about pronunciation, and you will continue to watch the lesson when you are ready. Let's move on to part 4. Тысячи судов пользуются Суэцким каналом. Canal is a canal. Thousands of ships use the Suez Canal. This is one of those rare occasions when the stress actually stays on the second syllable. Canal in Russian, canal in English, canal. What are the world's most famous canals? Let's have a look. Of course, the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal. Interestingly, the third one there, a root canal, that's something that dentists do. I think if the root of your tooth is damaged or infected, then they can do a root canal where they clear it out. I had one done once upon a time. What other canals are there? The ear canal, so there's a canal in our ear. There's also the birth canal. That's the baby comes out through the birth canal. I have a feeling that's not called canal in Russian. Anyway, canal. The next one. Она наш самый важный клиент. She is our most important client. Make sure that you start with an a sound. Client, not client. Ah, yes, sir, she is a good client. No, client. Client. Our most important client. What sort of clients are there? Client. A potential client. Not central. Definitely not sensual. He's a potential client. He's a prospective. He's a prospective client. Потенциальный. Он еще не стал клиентом, но может и станет. Potential или prospective. They're the same. The next one. Где находится крышка для этого контейнера? Where is the lid for this container? To make it sound nice, in English, remember to smile. Container. The next one. Мы используем только самые лучшие ингредиенты. We use only the best ingredients. Make sure that the E has a lot of Y in it. Ingredients. Before the D, which is a voiced sound, звонкие, we need a lot of Y. So ingredients. I would probably write it like that. Ingredients. romance. The next one, of course, this is not really a слово для нормально общающихся. It's more of a beginner word, but anyway. Давайте сфотографируемся. Let's take a photo. Of course, even people who нормально общаются in English don't always pronounce this word correctly. Photo. Two what sounds? Photo. 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 Other words like that are logo and solo. Logo, solo, photo. Photo. Two what sounds? Photo. Я хочу изучать фотографию в университете. I want to study photography at university. So, photo, but photography. И моя сестра отличный фотограф. My sister is a great photographer. So, she's a great photographer. She takes great photos. Photos. The next one. Повторяйте эту фразу за мной. Фраза. Repeat this phrase after me. So, фраза is a phrase. Remember, fr, it's lips forward. Phrase. Then you need to smile for the A. Phrase. Phrase. And there's quite a lot. So it's fre. We could even write it like that. Fre. Y. And then the z at the end is very slight. Phrase. Phrase. Repeat this phrase after me. Phrase. The next one. Я могу помочь вам раскрыть ваш потенциал. I can help you to fulfill your potential. Potent? No. Potential? Yes. Potential. Practice that shul at the end with the dark in your throat. Potential. Potential. Everything goes back at the end. Potential. Potential. And it's also an adjective. Сегодня я встретился с 3 потенциальными клиентами. I met 3 potential clients today. Try again. I met 3 potential clients today. So as you can see, the met and the mat, that said I'm at, which is kind of like mat, those sounds really are close. Met, mat, met, mat. So if you find it difficult to hear the difference, well, my computer also finds it difficult to hear the difference. Anyway, потенциальный, potential. The next one. Я не люблю романтические комедии. I don't like romantic comedies. Романтические, romantic. Romantic. Hold the ma, the stretchy ma sound. Ro, r, w, ro, like in photo. Romantic. Romantic. Rome. It's the same sound as we have in the city of Rome. Rome. Romantic. Roman. Etc. Romantic. And я хочу больше романтики в своей жизни. I want more romance in my life. It's a kind of double stress. Romance. Romance. I kind of stress both the syllables in this word. Romance. Romantic. Romantic. In romantic, I do more or less the same. A double stress. Romance. Romantic. O-ah. O-ah. Double stress. Romance. Romantic. The next one. Он специалист по носу и горлу. He is a nose and throat specialist. specialist. Just don't say ts in the middle. Specialist. Specialist. And this list at the end, the I, it's almost only breath. List. List. Just breath. Specialist. Specialist. List. Try it. List. Specialist. And the verb is to specialize. Она специализируется на голландском искусстве 17 века. She specializes in 17th century Dutch art. To specialize. And это специальное оборудование. This is specialist equipment. So interestingly, specialist can also be an adjective. Let's see what we get if we put in specialist and then nouns. Yeah, so he needs specialist care. So care from a specialist. He has specialist knowledge. Knowledge which only specialists have. These are specialist programs. So, programs for specialists to use, or perhaps programs which prepare specialists for certain types of work. Specialist. The next one. Важно понимать структуру языка. Структура, structure. It is important to understand the structure of the language. It's an interesting word. It has two ch sounds in it. Structure. Structure. Ch. A lot of sh in this word. Structure. Structure. It's not структура. Structure. Здание имеет конструктивные недостатки. The building is structurally flawed. Not that kind of flawed. Let's try an American version. The building is structurally flawed. There we go. In British English, flawed and flawed really do sound the same. But in American English, it's floored and flawed. So they're different. But in British English, flawed, flawed. Same idea. And that's another 10 words. So feel free to press pause, take a short break, or just stay with me. These words aren't new. We're mostly working on pronunciation. So you might just want to keep listening, keep repeating, keep working on your pronunciation. Number 691, моя тетя, автор. Автор is an author. My aunt is an author. An author. The o sound, double o. American English, Author, author. Author, author. The next one. На эту должность было проведено собеседование с 3 кандидатами. 3 candidates were interviewed for the position. So, candidate is a candidate. Stress on the first syllable, stretch the na. Candidate. He's a candidate. Lots of na. Candidates. A Canadian candidate. I just like that collocation. Canadian candidates. Canadian candidates. All right, let's look at the next one. Мне нужна сигарета. Сигарета is a cigarette. I need a cigarette. Remember, cigarette. Open your mouth. Cigarette. A cigarette. The next one. У меня проблемы с концентрацией внимания. Or maybe проблемы с фокусом. I have problems with concentration. So, I can't focus. I can't concentrate. I have problems with concentration. Next, в саду у них есть теннисный корт. Court is a court. They have a tennis court in their garden. Let's have a look at some other courts. How many of these will be about sport and how many will be legal? So a district court, a circuit court, an appeals court, a state court, they are all sud. They are all legal courts. But we also have a basketball court and a tennis court, which are courts for sport. Courts for sport. Yeah. So as you can see, court has these two meanings in English, and they're really quite different. And the next one. Прочтите этот диалог между официантом и клиентом. Read this dialogue between a waiter and a customer. Dialogue. What word did I have? Yes, I did have customer. Good. Oops. Dialogue. 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 Stress on the first syllable. Dialogue. Dialogue. The next one is Почему ты игнорируешь меня? Why are you ignoring me? Did you notice the connected speech there? You ignoring. Ignore begins with a vowel, and the first syllable is unstressed, which means it's a word which is almost always pronounced with connected speech. He ignored me. They ignored me. She was ignoring me. Slitная речь, connected speech. The next one. Ресторан имеет 5-звездочный рейтинг. Rating is a rating. The restaurant has a 5-star rating. To be honest, it's probably more important to talk about the word restaurant than the word rating. Make sure that you pronounce restaurant correctly. 2 syllables, restaurant. The TR should be pronounced with a sh. Restaurant. Restaurant. And I pronounce it with a double stress. So I stress both syllables. Restaurant. Restaurant. The restaurant has a 5-star rating. Rating. Remember, your mouth should move. It's not a rating. 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 Next, we're nearly at the end. Я не пью спиртные напитки. Спиртные are spirits. I do not drink spirits. Spirits. There's another word that's sometimes used. I do not drink liquor. Liquor or spirits. It's the same idea. Spirtные напитки. We also use spirits sometimes for industrial cleaning, that kind of thing. Maybe in the workshop, white spirit, for example. If you need to prepare a material for painting or something, you might use white spirit, which I guess is also spirit in Russian. Spirit. And the last word in this lesson, я не верю, что эти статистические данные точны. I do not believe that these statistics are accurate. Statistics. It's interesting how I pronounce the T's in this word. I say st, and then I do the proper t. Statistics. But then I do another d at the end. So I really only pronounce one aspirated t in this word. I suppose I could write it like this. Maybe like that. Statistics. 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 Of course, because this is also, because both of these T's come after S's. And when we pronounce T after S, it sounds more like a D. Statistics. Statistics. Maybe it will be difficult. Statistics. Уже чересчур при дыхании. Statistics. Statistics. There we go. Statistically speaking. Statistic. Yeah, I do it automatically. When I start thinking about it, I start confusing myself. But automatically, statistics. Statistically. Statistic. Yeah, statistic. If you ask a native speaker how they pronounce this word, they will never guess that they pronounce it with these D sounds. But I bet they do really. Anyway, that's all. So well done for reaching word number 700. I hope that this pronunciation-focused lesson has been interesting for you. There are another 2 lessons in the course, and I do hope that you'll join me for them soon. All right, bye-bye.